Welcome to our deep dive, and today we're tackling data journalism. I'm really excited about this one,
Yeah, me too.
especially with the excerpts you picked out, like from the Data Journalism Handbook. I feel like this is going to get really interesting, talking about not just how data is used, but how the whole field of data journalism is like changing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just look at how much it's grown, even just since, what, 2011? That's what, like yesterday? The
Seriously.
book makes that so clear. It's gone from like a buzzword to, full on established.
Totally. I remember a few years back, it seemed like every other day there was another data breach or leak in the news, right?
Right.
And data journalism was huge in bringing those stories to light.
Oh, 100%. And, beyond just leaks, think about like the Panama Papers.
Oh, yeah, that was major.
Huge for data journalism,
Yeah.
right? I mean, now you've got like dedicated organizations, awards, whole teams and newsrooms focused on it.
It seems kind of exciting, right? Like uncovering secrets, holding the powerful accountable. But the book also mentions there's a flip side to that, right? It's
Yeah.
not all roses.
Definitely not. The book's really good about pointing out the challenges, even controversies. For instance, remember the Snowden leaks?
Oh, back in 2013. Yeah, for
That
sure.
was a turning point, right?
I feel like that whole thing about surveillance really got people thinking about data in a different way, like how it can be used, maybe misused.
Totally. Big debate after that about whether data could ever really be objective, or if journalists were, always using it responsibly. Plus, there's pushback on some of the methods, like statistical stuff.
Yeah.
Some people even say data journalism is like part of this whole post-truth problem,
Yeah.
where facts don't seem to matter as much anymore.
Whoa, okay.
Heavy stuff.
So it's not just about the data itself, it's the whole way we interpret it, present it, which I guess is where this idea of uh, critical data practice comes in. This
Yes.
seems to be a big thing in the book.
Right, right.
What exactly does that even mean?
So basically, it's about journalists being more, I guess, reflective about their work.
Okay.
Like not GSD representing data, but really digging into it, asking like, where did this data come from? Who collected it? Could there be any biases hidden in there?
So it's understanding the context of the data, not just the numbers themselves, like almost being a data detective or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's recognizing that data isn't like this neutral force.
Right.
It's made by people,
Yeah.
systems. And seeing those influences is super important for doing good reporting.
That makes a lot of sense. And the book also talks about how data journalism is like so much more than just charts and graphs. It
Yeah.
sounds kind of creative, actually.
Oh, it totally is. Like the examples they give are all over the place.
Okay.
There's these journalists tracing like where commodities come from to expose corruption or mapping out segregation in cities.
Wow.
There's even this project using data to like preserve memories of trees in Bogota.
Wait, stories about trees. That's amazing. I never would have thought of that.
Right. It shows how data can be used in like unexpected ways.
Yeah. And it all starts with actually getting that data, which, as the book points out, can be a whole challenge in itself.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Especially in places where information's, tightly controlled. The book talks about Cuba and China.
Right. Okay.
Journalists there have to be really resourceful,
Hmm.
combining sources, getting creative with how they collect things.
So there's a real investigative side to it, too. It's not just about like number crunching. It's like digging for clues, uncovering these hidden stories, and then figuring out how to present all that data in a way that like connects with people.
100%. And then you add in all the new technologies popping up, it gets even more complex,
Right.
which brings a whole new set of, well, opportunities, A&D challenges, like take algorithms, for instance.
Yeah, algorithms.
It's crazy how they're changing the game for data journalists, right?
Yeah, totally. It's like having this like super powered team of analysts at your disposal.
Right. But the book makes a good point. It's not all sunshine and roses with algorithms either.
No.
They can do amazing things like spotting patterns in these huge data sets that, a human would never catch. But you got to remember, they're still made by humans.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So all our biases, our assumptions, they can like sneak right into the code.
So just because an algorithm says something's true doesn't mean it actually is true.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And the book stresses this. Journalists need to really understand these tools. It's not just about knowing how to like run the
Hey,
software.
deeper than that.
You need to know how it works, what's going on under the hood.
So like if an algorithm's telling you where crime's gonna happen, you have to know like what's it even counting as crime?
Exactly. Like maybe it's based on police reports, but that might not tell the whole story, right?
Totally.
And then beyond all the ethical stuff, there's just the practical challenge of learning all this.
Yeah.
Data journalism's getting more technical.
So wait, are we saying traditional journalism skills like don't matter anymore?
No, no, not at all. In fact, the book argues those core values, accuracy, fairness, all that, they're more important than ever.
Oh, okay.
It's about combining those old school values with these new tech skills.
Finding that balance. It's not about replacing journalists with robots. It's about using these tools the right way, to
Yeah.
tell stories that matter.
100%.
Mm.
And speaking of telling stories, we can have all the data in the world, but if we don't, communicate it well, what's the point?
Totally. No one wants to be drowned in spreadsheets.
Right. It's got to be engaging, accessible. That's what the book gets into, all these cool approaches, like interactive visualizations. They even talk about data-driven comics.
Seriously, data comics.
Yeah. And using data in radio and TV. It's about making it come alive.
I love that data storytelling. It's not just about numbers. It's about the human part of it all.
Exactly. Like a chart might show you a trend, but a good story, it puts a face on that trend,
Yeah, yeah.
helps people connect with it. And that human element, it's crucial.
Because data journalism, it's not just about presenting facts, right? It's about using data to tell stories that can, make people think, make them question things, maybe even, I don't know, inspire them to ACT.
It's about making a difference. And the book makes another good point.
Hmm.
It usually takes a team to do this stuff well.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just one lone wolf journalist. It's like a whole crew.
Okay.
You might have journalists working with coders, designers, data analysts, even experts in whatever topic you're covering.
I was reading about those cross-border investigations where journalists from all these different countries teamed up.
Yeah, that's a great example. It shows how collaboration can take data journalism to a whole new level.
So we've got these powerful new tools, this emphasis on teamwork, and this focus on storytelling. It seems like data journalism is changing so fast.
Oh, for sure. But through all that change, the book reminds us those core values, they still got to be at the heart of it. Holding power accountable, shining a light on injustice, all that.
Using data to make the world better. And I'm curious to hear more about that, how data journalism is tackling social and political issues. The book touches on that a bit, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Ready to dive into that. Yeah, let's get into that. It's really inspiring to think about how data can be used to make a real difference in the world, We were just talking about those core values, and I'm particularly interested in how data journalism can, I don't know, shine a light on social and political issues.
Yeah, absolutely. And it goes beyond just uncovering corruption or whatever.
Right.
It can be about highlighting inequality,
Yeah.
advocating for change,
Yeah.
even, giving power back to communities that are often ignored.
That's powerful stuff. I remember the book had a few examples of projects that did just that, using data to give a voice to people who might not otherwise be heard.
Oh, yeah, there's an amazing one, mapping indigenous land rights violations. Just
Yeah.
visualizing that data, it showed the scale of the problem in a way that was impossible to ignore,
Yeah.
Brought attention to something that had been hidden for so long.
And I can see how presenting data that clearly, that powerfully really drives home the human side of these issues. It's harder to look away, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it can build momentum for actual change.
Yeah.
When you have that solid data backing you up, it's a much stronger tool for, activism, advocacy.
So it's not just about showing the world as it is. It's about shaping the world we want, right?
Yeah. And that brings us to something else the book talks about, audience engagement. I mean, you can have the most important findings in the world, but if no one understands them, what's the point?
Makes sense. We talked about making data accessible, but it has to be engaging too, right? Something that grabs people's attention.
Exactly. It's about meeting people where they are, speaking their language,
Yeah. Yeah.
tapping into what they care about, and finding ways to tell those stories, whether it's through visuals or, we talked about data comics.
Data comics, I love it. It breaks down those walls between data and, everyday life. Data is not just this scary, abstract thing anymore.
It's about humanizing it, showing how it connects to our lives, our experiences, our emotions even.
Yeah.
When people can relate to it, they're more likely to engage with it.
And use it to make better decisions, hopefully.
Right. That's what it's all about.
Empowering people. This whole deep dive has been, I don't know, it's really opened my eyes to how much data journalism can do. It's amazing, really.
Me too.
It's uncovering the truth, A&D, pushing for change, all at the same time. It's really shaping how we see the world.
And it's constantly changing too, which makes it even more fascinating to, keep up with.
Definitely. I think that's a great note to end on, that sense of possibility.
Yeah,
Like, if you're interested in this stuff, there's so much out there to explore. We've just scratched the surface here.
definitely just a taste.
Hopefully, it's made you a little bit curious.
Yeah, go out there, explore, ask questions. Who knows, maybe you'll uncover your own data story.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into data journalism. Until next time, stay curious.